Hi guys, welcome to Christine Yvonne. And it's been 1 year. It has been 1 full year since I've been out here in Dallas, and I owe you all an update of all the great pros and the cons about Dallas. So I'm gonna run down the list, and I hope it helps the next person if you're thinking about moving, if you're thinking about relocating. I'm also gonna give some tips and just some personal things I've experienced personally as far as relocating to an entirely new state for the first time in my life, like the first time I've ever relocated. If y'all saw some of my past videos, this was a pretty big deal. So let's jump into number one. How much does it cost? Like, the cost of living out here in Dallas, I would say the cost of living is the cost of living everywhere. Like, everything's going up. Everything's becoming more expensive. I mean, have you seen eggs? So I really can't compare it to much. I'm pretty sure if you chose to live out further away, deep in the burbs somewhere, maybe it's not that expensive. But since I am near more of the city, uptown, downtown, whatever you call it, I still don't know. It is more expensive. But I will say you can negotiate. So if you have relocated and you're in an apartment complex and they raising the rent or whatever, you can always negotiate. You can negotiate for like almost anything when you're the client, when you're the customer. Not almost anything, but like a lot. I'm negotiated on a lot of stuff. And it's not just because I work in legal. People want to keep you. They want to keep, especially if you're a good tenant, like people want to keep you. So I was able to cut the increase. They were going to increase my rent by in half, and I got 1 month free. So I know that's not much on the cost of living, but I think pretty much as you Google, as you search, what it is. There's no state tax out here, but that's great. But when it comes to buying things or renting or owning, I still just think it's going up like everywhere else. Jobs. I still work for my job on the East Coast remotely. I've been on LinkedIn and I've looked at other jobs and other companies. I don't like to say jobs, careers. I feel like we are in a stage in our life where we are looking for careers, not just a job, a career that's fulfilling and satisfying, is giving us all the money we need and all the purpose we need to do great things in the world. A career. But there are plenty of careers out here. You can just Google and you'll see all of these corporate offices that are located out here, from tech to education to a huge banking hub to even restaurants, and to some things you didn't even know. Like, I didn't even know Top Golf, one of the headquarters, was out here. Or the dating site called Match.com was out here. So many businesses and companies are out here. Stuff you use every day, or products or apps that you use, and you have like no idea that one of the headquarters is out here in Dallas. So yeah, that's a cool thing. I do still know people who have moved here with no job and have found jobs, or people who have decided to do a career switch and landed a role out here as well. So I don't see or hear too much about huge unemployment layoffs. Pray to God that does not come in the coming months, but who knows. Out here in Dallas, everything still seems pretty stable and people are still hiring, so I see no issues. The weather. Y'all, I don't think the weather should be a problem, but it is a problem because people don't know how to handle cold weather. I'm not talking about hot weather. Like in July, it was hot. I wasn't even here for the whole month of July. I had to go home, but it was hot. But it's February right now, February 2023. And a couple of days or weeks ago, we had another cold system that brought ice and snow, and pretty much saw Dallas, Texas on the news again, because I feel like ever since that thing with the grid happened, before I got here, they've been very cautious, very alert, very like on it as far as the weather. And I had family in when it had snowed, and I went out one day, and the sun was starting to peek out, but you can definitely still tell it was ice on the road, maybe black ice. Snow was still out there, but people are still speeding. You know, I saw on the news all the terrible accidents and things that had happened. But when I was on the road, I'm like, why are these people speeding? Do they not know? It's still ice on the road. You should reduce your speed. So I don't think weather doesn't have to be a problem. It's just that the people around you may not know how to properly manage driving in this type of weather. Like, again, East Coast girl, I'm used to filling up the bathtub in case the pipes freeze, so you know you can scoop water out to flush the toilet, or doing other things to keep the pipes warm, and how to keep warm yourself, and all these other things, all the things from living through blizzards and ice storms. And over here, it's really not bad, but again, it just comes with preparedness. Do they treat the roads? That's my question. Do they treat the roads? Maybe they do. Salt, sand. I heard they put sand down, but I don't know. I just think people need to kind of like know. I mean, even they had signs up, please reduce your speed. A person was speeding like 80 miles an hour, and I'm like, do they not know it's ice still on the road? So I don't know. I guess people think because they're in a truck and a 4x4 that their car is not going to skid at all with their tires. I don't know. You just like never know what can happen when you hit black ice. But neither here nor there. I don't think weather is a problem. I don't think weather is a problem. Just be prepared for the hot months in July, because July or August. Because when it gets hot, it gets hot. I still think Houston is worse with that humidity. At least it's not like super humid, but when it gets hot, it gets hot. I definitely encourage, if you do got an apartment, or if you're getting in a home community, like if there's a community area in your subdivision, you need a pool. Like, you need a pool in your life. Like, you need a pool. Like, oh my gosh. Traffic. So in my last video, I like completely lied. I think it was like my third or fourth second video where I was talking about, well, you know, I'm never in no traffic because I work from home. And that's true, like working from home, working remotely. But I joined the gym, you know, meeting more friends and more people. I started to go out more for happy hour. And y'all, I was headed to Addison. A 20-minute ride was like an hour. I said, wow. I immediately got a toll card. I registered for a toll card. Like, I still have not driven the tolls during rush hour traffic, but oh my God, I don't want to experience that again. It's probably going to happen again. But yeah, I definitely got a toll card. Traffic. Look, you see how my voice is speeding up? Like, traffic is definitely a thing. Because, you know, here's like a lot of highways and ramps and stuff. And I know I was in traffic, and I was looking at the ramps to my left and the ramps to my right, and everywhere is just backed up. I'm like, oh my God. It's going to take forever for me to get to my destination. Get a toll card. And I remember seeing YouTube videos of other people like, get a toll card, get a toll card. I don't need a toll card. Get you a toll card. Okay, because I got one. Even if you don't get one, get in the tolls. Like, they're really good with like sending you your bill quick in the mail if you jump on the tolls. But yeah, traffic is definitely a thing, but it's not a huge deterrent for you not to come here, because any popular area, like, you're going to have traffic. And I know the natives would be like, you know, stop coming here and we won't get as much traffic. The traffic's still not a deal breaker for me. I still enjoy Dallas. So like, about social settings. So if church is your thing, it's definitely so many churches out here. The Potter's House is up here, Sarah Jake's, Upper Room, so many other great churches. It's still easy to meet people. I still have not ran into a mean, nasty Texan yet, and I know that's not the story for a lot of other people. It's just for me. Everyone's still incredibly nice, incredibly friendly. I'm not a clubber, so you're not really gonna catch me out in the club at night. But what I do like to do is find a restaurant that has a vibe, and you'll stay there all day. Kind of like what people do on Sunday Fun Day, or just meet up with some girlfriends and go to a nice restaurant. Maybe it has a DJ. Maybe it's like the the lounge type setting. So I think the night scene here is cool. Again, I'm not in the club, so people who are in the club probably have a totally different experience. I'm in the restaurants with a vibe all night long with DJs and music and fun. So that's what I'm into, and I have no complaints about it. Oh, and live bands. I like the Freeman here. That's a restaurant in Deep Ellum. I just like the whole live bands, the DJs at night. That's what I like. That's what I find enjoyment in here in Texas versus the club. So with relocating, there comes a time when you're going to want to go home, or your family's going to want to come see you, or better yet, those old traditions that you kind of had. So let's say maybe it's attending homecoming every year, or making sure you're there for somebody's birthday, or some type of sibling or cousins event that you all do annually every year. But I will tell you, let's pick one of those events because, girl, sirs, it's going to add up. I went home a couple of times last year, and I'll tell you all why shortly, but it definitely adds up. The tickets definitely be ticketing, and not even to mention if you go home and someone doesn't even have a reliable car for you to drive, and you have to rent a car, like, oh my gosh. And then I eat a little different than other people, so I had to go home. I had to get an air ticket. I have to rent a car. I made groceries. Like, I do a lot of things, and it definitely adds up. It adds up so much. So a way to help me save money this year is to not go home as much. I cannot do it. Like, me and Chase are like this because of how many airfare tickets and rental cars I had to book. And sometimes it's a lot when you go home because people haven't seen you, and so everybody wants to see you. And I know it may sound weird, but sometimes it can get a little bit overwhelming, especially if you came home to just do one specific thing, or maybe just relax, or maybe just hang with your parents, or maybe just hang with your group. Whatever it may be, it can get a little bit overwhelming when everybody wants to see you. So I don't know, stay where you at for a little bit. That's what I would say. Me personally, when I relocated, it was great. I would be lying if I said not one time I didn't feel lonely, I feel like if you go to a new place and you maybe know a sprinkle of people there, there's gonna be times when you feel lonely. You just need to know that you are not alone. Cause who is with you? God is with you, okay? So lonely, but not alone. That was a lot last year. And also last year, I had a lot of family issues. So I moved in January. In February-ish, I believe, my uncle died. I didn't go home for that, but it was a lot of, I wish now, back in retrospect, that I went home. But family just reassured me, don't come, because you have to come here, you have to do this, you have to drive this location, that location is just gonna be too much. Don't worry about it, just sing your prayers, it's okay. Then in July, my cousin, so let's pretend that you all, had a cousin that was more like a sister. Her mom was like your mom now because I lost my mom. So her mom was like my mom, which was my aunt. She helped raise me along with my dad, and she passed in August. And it just shocked everything out of me. It was a period of deep sadness. I want to say depression, just deep grief, deep grief. That was in July. And the week before Christmas, my aunt. So the same husband in the beginning, his wife died at the end of the year. That was the aunt that's like, oh, so-and-so's going to college. Let me take you college shopping. She always had a positive word. She always had a plate of food for you. Are you hungry? I'm going to be the one to feed you. I'm going to say some nice words. I'm going to give you a prayer. I'm just going to make sure you're in a good mood. She did all the things to everybody, Someone she just met, someone off the street, or someone that she's known all her life. She kept the same energy with everyone. Beautiful, kind, sweet spirit. A week before Christmas. So after all that, you can start to think like, well, you know, I don't even know why I'm really out here. Because of these people who I love are leaving. And I can't even get there in time. Like, what if something else bad, you know, then you start playing these things in your mind. Like, what if something else bad happens? What if I can't get to them in time? What am I going to do? Like, I need to be there. I need to be there. You don't need to be there. You don't. And I had to come to terms with that. Like, it's important that the people who are still here, you know, you give them your flowers while you can, you know, not to change up and stop your whole life, because they wouldn't want you to do that for them. Great relatives or family members would not want you to redirect your whole life for them, regardless if you feel lonely or feel sad. They would want you to stay the course, because it's like a stretching. I feel like since I relocated, it's like a stretching. It's like a pulling. It's in terms of like growth. So definitely don't want you to double back or take steps backwards in what God is pushing you towards. So it was a lot, and I was here. So if you do go through something like that and you relocated and you may just know a sprinkle of people here, like, stay connected to people. Like, stay connected to your friends. If they're good friends, they don't mind if you blow their phone up. You stay connected to friends. You know, stay in communication with people just for your mental, because it can weigh so heavy on you. So just for your mental, stay in contact with people, meet friends, get out of the house, get out of the apartment, go out. It has been times, so many times, and I enjoy it safely. You know, that I go out alone. I watch a lot of YouTubers on like how to safely go out alone. I mean, people don't know. Weapons of mass destructions. Get you a registered GUN, little pepper spray, mace, knife, whatever you need. Whatever you need. If you need a little peace of mind with Jesus to carry on your person as you go out and have a good time. But those are my main points. I mean, as far as Dallas, I still enjoy Dallas. I don't have no desire to leave it. And to prove that I still enjoy Dallas, guess what I did? I'm about to get a driver's license here. What? I'm about to switch from Virginia to Texas. And let me tell you what's interesting. I went online to do it, and I'm thinking it's like VA. Like, oh, you know, I'll just walk into, they're called DMVs over there, the DMV, Department of Motor Vehicles. I'll just walk into DMV and get it. But here is through some, I don't know. And you got to make an appointment. And I'm like, okay, you know, probably like still COVID stuff. Maybe I got to make a little appointment. I made an appointment in January. My appointment in like March. I said, why is it like 3 months for me to go switch this license over? That was different. That was different. But to prove that I am to myself that, you know, I'm not going nowhere yet. I still enjoy Texas. I am getting a Texas license. Dating. I mean, dating is dating. Where you go and what you put out, I think, is kind of what you get back. I would say just continue to have fun. Dating's supposed to be fun. So I'm just having fun. Just have fun. You know, let stuff come as it goes. Let it come naturally. Let it come naturally. You don't have to rush anything. Just have fun out here in these Texas streets. The funny thing is, I did my hair, right? I did my own hair. Because I was looking for a hair shop, a hair store to buy hair. So I went to hair stores nearby me, and it just won't hit. And I'm like, this just ain't hitting. I know I'm at a good hair store where I can see like a check cashing place. A check cashing place, a dollar store. I know I am in a legit hair store, aka sometimes just the hood. You know, I'm being honest. So they weren't hitting, right? So I went to the young lady who was braiding my hair. It was an African shop, and I was like, oh, what's a hair store? And she was like, oh, you need to go to Jenny's. I'm like, what is Jenny's? So I went out there and it felt like it was like a grocery store or a warehouse that was converted into a hair store. And y'all, it was every hair person's heaven. Like, it was just everything that I need to be successful as far as hair in that store. And I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. So Jenny's hair store is where you need to go, you know, for my girls. If you like near Dallas, city-ish, and ain't no stores around here popping, go to Jenny's. I was about to say Diddy's. Go to Jenny's. So let's talk about when people come out here. I think I had about 5 sets of friends, and we've all had so much fun. But I have to figure out a way to give people the experience without doing the same stuff. Like, you know, reunions, Howard, that like touristy thing. I think I've been there 3 times last year. I think I went there 3 times last year because, you know, people wanted to see it, or maybe I just recommended it, and that's the thing. But when people come in, I definitely want to show them a good time. I want to do something that you could not have done at home. Like, you could not have done where we're from. So I know one group of friends came in, and, you know, I'm like, no, you know what we should do today? What? We should go rooftop hopping, you know, at all the different rooftop bars. Because I think it's only like 1 rooftop or 2 that I can think of. 2 rooftop bars back where I'm from. And I'm like, we should just go like rooftop hopping. And so that one night we was just like hitting all these different rooftops. We had so much fun, so much fun. And it was just at the end of the day, they were like, you know, we would have never been able to do this at home. And I'm like, I know, right? So I love moments like that, that I can have people like have a different experience, because sometimes some people really do want to move away. Like, they really do want to relocate. They're just so scared, or maybe their mind is just closed to only be attracted to what they know. They don't want to be stretched. They don't want to be pushed. So when you come out here, I want to give you an experience to show like, hey, maybe not here, but you too, if it's on your heart, or God has put it on your heart to like move and chase after him and go do something new, like, you too can relocate, because the world is so big. The world is so vast. It's so big. But that's all I got, guys. I hope y'all enjoyed my 1-year update. If it's a yes or no to Dallas, it's a yes. It's a yes. If you haven't heard, if you couldn't, it's a yes. If you couldn't tell, if it's a yes or no to Dallas, it's a yes. If you could not tell, I am still very much enjoying myself out here. No complaints. Bye, guys.